Jacob Servin. That's a pretty common name. No, not common. It's not common.
It's a pretty common. Yes.
What's his actual name? Yeah, Jacob Servin. That's a name that's been blowing up in social media and in our community, in our town, in Stockton, and
San Joaquin County.
In the county. I'm guessing all of California, since his story has blown up.
I mean, it's reaching almost 1 million people, so, and it's being reposted. His also.
Post, the post that he initially made.
It has, just to get the exact number, is almost 500,000.
More than half, right? Yeah.
Oh, close to 500,000
and counting.
And I mean he's being reposted by, like, I guess you could say
huge pages.
Yeah, huge
like
pages.
Famous people
with a good following.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
like huge influencers. I've been reposting him and commenting on his post and just talking about it in general.
So how do you feel about? Well, before I ask you how you feel about this story,
let's give like a brief summary.
Yes, why don't you sum it up a little bit?
Okay, so allegedly he was in a bar. He was intoxicated, and he got arrested by Stockton Police.
PD.
Stockton PD. He was taken to
the county jail.
Yeah, the county jail.
So he was handed over to the sheriffs.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's still law enforcement, but it's a different department. It wasn't the police. How people are making it
seem like it was like out in the streets and it was like police brutality. Like
yes.
That's not the case. So he was actually taken to jail and he was perfectly fine. There's actually a picture of him. His mugshot, like he's smiling. Actually, he seems like he's having a good time.
Yeah,
but I mean,
that usually happens when people get taken into jail if they're intoxicated. I mean, they're fucking making like
like he's
they look drunk. Yeah, they look drunk. But the time that the Stockton PD had him, they handed him over, like he was
him over. That's when
he was
everything
still
happened.
in good condition, and I guess he was being cooperative. Yes, I think
cooperative.
Yeah. And then that's when the correction officers kind of just...
That's where the whole situation started. That kind of like sprung everything. So.
And that's where everything started to blow up.
And I guess, according to him, he was kind of like not cooperating with the COs, correction officers, and I guess he was being a smart ass. Like he was actually telling him like making smart remarks. So
wait, like the Jacob guy was making smart remarks to
the correction officers. Yeah. Okay. And I guess that's kind of like why they started
So he was already being aggressive towards them.
Yeah. So he was antagonizing them. Like it's not like entirely he was completely innocent, which is the case to me when I first saw the post. I was like, okay, so I mean, I'm kind of like a victim blamer, like Dave Chappelle. He says. So that's kind of my stance on it. Was like, okay, so what did you do to get beat to that extent? That's kind of like. I don't jump to conclusions, and I waited till like we got all this, which I mean it's still not resolved.
I mean, the full story's still not out yet, but I mean, based on what he said and what the sheriff's departments have like also stated, it's like it's an unbalanced.
I mean, it's
story.
It's not. It's unexcusable for somebody to get beat like that, especially by a professional correctional officer.
Because his. Like the reason why this is blowing up is because he said that it says here, just a quick read. Yesterday, 3 racist county sheriffs from Stockton held me down, beat me, choked me, caked me, and tried to snap my neck with their fists and batons one by one for a long period of time while I was yelling for them to stop. Witnesses could hear me yelling for my life. This man tried to kill me all while yelling racist remarks. And then he just kind of sums it up how they just fucked him up, So it's blowing up because it's...
Yeah, I mean, he's painting that
racist painting.
Yeah, that racist.
He's painting there. He's making it seem like if it was like an actual racist like attack against
him. He's making that
because he looks like a Latino guy.
Hispanic.
I mean, but if I were to take a guess, he looks Mexican. Well, I feel like Mexican.
I feel like if he wouldn't have come out and say like it was a racist attack, I feel like it wouldn't have been as popular as it is now. I feel like that's what's making it blow up.
I think honestly it would still be because someone will be like, oh well, you got beat up by fucking the police and you're Mexican, so it's racist. I mean, that's the first thing that people jump to.
But in a sense, I think that if he would have just came out and be like, oh, I just got beat up by police, I don't think it would have blown up as it is right now because I mean, he is saying he's making that
that like statement, those allegations that he was targeted.
Yeah, that he's pretty much saying, oh, I got beat because of my race, or because of the color of my skin, or because the cops were racist, or they were making racist remarks towards me, or I mean, that's not the case. That to me was like the first red flag in the story, and I was like, okay, so let's not jump to conclusions. Let's wait and see the official statements. I mean, it's still not resolved, like I said, but you know, so far to me, it doesn't seem like that's the case. When our mayor is black, first of all, I mean, we're a pretty diverse city. It's uncommon to hear that. Like this has never been an issue ever in our police departments or in our county, anywhere.
Well, in our
especially
city,
here in California. I mean, we're one of the most progressive states. We're super liberal. You never hear racist shit.
I mean, it's and
that's the last thing.
This is
that
a country. I guess if you want to say the term, like it's probably where like the most immigrants and where the most diversity is. You know, there's a lot of everything.
Yeah, so I feel like here in our area, it's kind of like hard to believe that was the motivation that they beat him.
I mean, the police department is made up of like, I mean, shit. I'm sure there's a lot of Latinos, blacks, and like Asians like in the police department. Yeah. So it's
and I mean, we know some of them. You know? We know some cops, some local cops. They're pretty fucking nice. So I feel like that to me was like, okay, so he's not making sense there. That was like the first kind of thing. But that thing that was brought to my attention.
That thing that did get cleared though, and that I would say most people probably don't understand is that like the correction officers in the police department, it's a whole that they're completely different. Yeah, so the correction officers do have like a different set of rules that they kind of abide by.
Yeah,
yes.
So I mean, if you read his initial post, all the comments are like "fuck the police," this and that. So people are just jumping on board with that. I feel like that's why it's kind of blowing up. Like that touches a lot of people. Like,
and it's always people that don't really understand. Like, because I want to say this has a lot to do with like politics and stuff. As far as like how a certain department has to handle a certain situation. And I do know too that correction officers, I guess they don't carry tasers, but I guess they only carry the batons and a pepper spray.
I mean,
but still, it's. I mean, it's not. I'm not justifying what they did. I mean, it's fucked up, and I feel like the officers, the COs should be charged, even to fucking do jail time, bro. That's not right. That's inhumane, bro. That's just fucked up,
But I mean, at the same time, he's not completely innocent, which is, I feel like that's the kind of like, that's his narrative. He's pushing that narrative where it's like, oh, I just got beat up because because they're racist. They were being racist towards me. I was just saying a couple of things, and they beat me to this point.
What the sheriff department also said was that it says the quick summary: preliminary reports say that Mr. Servin grabbed the female officer, reached for officer's equipment, kicked an officer in the chest, and tried to bite staff. Then that's when it says that correction officers were forced to react to that aggressiveness in order to protect themselves and maintain the safety and security of others in the facility.
See,
so they're kind of they're like trying to justify what they did, which I mean it's
unjustifiable.
Yeah,
I think in that situation it's
like if you see his face, bro, like it's fucked up. Like if you were to put that face next to like, it's like that's not that same dude. Like what are you talking about?
They use excessive force.
Yes. And
that part is it's not justified. They shouldn't have done that. Especially like I said, being a professional, it's like you got to keep your composure. You're trained for situations like that.
Yeah, I mean you have to be trained.
Didn't handle it accordingly. I mean he was intoxicated. So I mean I feel like most of the things he's saying isn't completely true. Just for that reason. I mean when you're drunk you're not yourself. Maybe he was being aggressive or he was saying some stupid shit. So in a way that makes it harder to believe his story, his narrative, and especially that he's saying racist shit,
Yeah.
He's pulling out that race card, which is, I mean, like I said, it's hard to believe in our city that was like the motivation why they did that.
I mean, and now, that race car, I want to say that God, everybody tries to pull it out. Like, if they don't get their way. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying this is the case, but I'm saying for the most part, like, generally speaking, people try to fucking pull that race car all the time now. And it's like, bro, no, that's not.
I think it has a lot to do with, like, kind of like what's going around, too. Like, it being a victim nowadays, it's like, it's praised, Like, being a victim gives you power nowadays. So I feel like he's kind of using that to his advantage. I mean, he's getting a lot of popularity. He's blowing up.
He really is.
So in a way, this situation is kind of like, I mean, I'm not gonna say like it's kind of like a good thing, but it's like,
I would word it like the fucked up situation that he went through is giving him a good outcome.
Pretty much.
In a sense.
Yeah, and in that way, yeah. I mean, fuck, he's famous now. He has his 15 seconds of fame. He's probably gonna make money. He's gonna interview all over. I mean, he's probably gonna be taken everywhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's, yeah. I mean, and as far as that goes, that's good for him. He's getting like that publicity.
Yeah, he's gonna get a shit ton of publicity. He's gonna blow up. A bunch of celebrities are gonna be talking about him.
Yeah, and then now this is his chance to capitalize on whatever the fuck he wanted. If he had dreams, goals, and shit,
it's the time now.
It's the time to do it right now. Like, but capitalize on your shit. But it's fucked up. But I wanted to.
It's hard for me to not feel like he kind of did this for that reason. Like, he knew this was gonna happen. I feel like he kind of. I mean, he posted it on social media. To me, that's a weird place to go about it. If I was in that situation, I think the first thing I would have done is kind of go and
like with the lawyer and then start lawsuit.
I don't think I'd publicize something like that. But I mean, he did, and he tagged all these pages, and he started tagging people.
And in a way, it's good. I mean, because it does bring awareness to like.
Yeah.
Like, not again. It's not. I don't want to say it's this case specifically, but there is a lot of other places that, you know, police brutality does happen.
It does, like, but I feel like in most situations,
you see like 10 fucking cops fucking handle like, sometimes even a little kid. Like, come on, like that's 10 grown ass man can't fucking stop a 5-year-old kid. Like, come on, like that's.
But in a sense, I feel like it's kind of justified in. I mean, I'm not saying it's justified to beat somebody like brutally like that, but it's kind of justified in a sense where people aren't cooperating, and I feel like sometimes you do have to use some force. You know?
No, I mean I'm sure they're especially with COs that they work in prisons and stuff.
I mean, if you see all these videos where people are saying like, oh, police brutality, the cops are racist, this and that, it's mostly people not complying with them. It's like people being assholes to cops just for no apparent reason, and then they don't take responsibility. Like, oh, I fucked up, and I feel like he kind of did something to the cops to piss him off
and to antagonize them. Yes.
So I feel like he has to take responsibility if he did do something. Or like say something, or actually, like they said, he kicked somebody in the chest, and he was grabbing a female officer, and he was doing all this other shit. So I feel like if he did do some of that shit, like he has to take responsibility for that.
But it still shouldn't have got to this point where they
basically we agree on that.
I mean, because if you saw his interview, it says that I guess 2 of them were holding him down, and then the other one was just fucking him up, and then they were like taking turns. They're like, okay, well now let me get the legs, you fuck him up, and I'll hold his head. And it's like, it's fucked up, bro. Like, they shouldn't do that. But I mean, he also says that they sent him down in a chair, and like they try to like snap his neck, and then he has screws on his neck from like snowboarding or shit like that. And then like it's like, bro, that sounds like those fucking movies, like the fucking Black Widow trying to interrogate somebody. Like, she's fucking a badass, but it's fucked up.
In a way, I feel like we don't really know enough, or we weren't there, and we don't have enough evidence to kind of believe.
Yeah, right now, no. Right now, it's just
which side to go to. You know, it's like. I mean, I'm pretty sure
it's not even picking sides. It's just like knowing the truth.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is. Just knowing the truth.
Either he's lying, or the department is lying, or they're both lying, and then maybe a little bit of this did happen and a little bit of that did happen.
Yeah, I mean it's a curious case. It's like, I mean, being part of this community, it's like you want to know.
Yeah, I mean, especially when shit like this hits like close to your like your city, your home. People start worrying like, oh, well, what if I'm next? You know, what if this and that? What if that, that, and that?
But I mean,
the good thing I think about this, though, as far as in the city, I'm sure the police department or just anyone in general, they're going to be a little bit more cautious of how they approach people. Yeah. Because I'm sure a lot of people are going to start bringing this shit up in, like, the officers' faces. Like, oh, yeah, well, are you going to fuck me up too? Or, you know, like, shit like that.
It's going to bring... I mean, people just have to stop being assholes to cops. I mean, just fucking be nice. Just cooperate. That's it. Go along your day. It's not that fucking hard. It's just easy to antagonize cops, like how we were discussing earlier. It's like, you know, you get pulled over and they're enforcing a law, and it's like, you just kind of hate them for giving you a ticket, which is, you got to take personal responsibility and be like, I fucked up too, and he's just giving me a ticket for that. Mm-hmm. He's not being a dick to me. He's just doing his job. So, in a sense, yeah, I feel like it is bringing a good spotlight to our city. I feel like people are just kind of jumping to conclusion super quick, and it's just like, they're already over there like, oh, the police is...
it's corrupt, this and that. And a lot of people are also See, it's because the thing is that people are not informed enough, or I want to say educated enough in certain aspects of like life, I guess you could say. I mean, because a lot of people are already giving shit to the mayor. Like, yeah, as much as he hasn't done, like, he really can't do much about this because it's like out of his
For sure.
jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction.
There you go. Sorry, English is my second language. And it's like, bro, like, you just like, you don't. Sometimes people speak without knowing, and it makes them look stupid.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
sometimes they do have good points sometimes, but it's like, okay, well, it's stupid though. Like, you like, no.
Yeah.
But I want to like to sum this up already.
I mean, just go through his comments, and it's like mostly it's just people bashing the police, people saying, "Oh, racism." People are already yelling racism, and it's like, no, like just wait and see till the full story comes out. Like, you don't have enough evidence to, lean a certain way. So I feel like people need to chill. A lot of people are already talking hella shit.
Yeah, once the department brings out the footage from inside the jail, because they did say they were gonna do it as soon as possible, so the public can see exactly what happened. I feel that's when we will know exactly what happened.
So stay tuned.
And if there is audio too,
I'm pretty sure they actually had cameras in there. They
have to, unless they don't have cameras where the little section they took him. Then that kind of also raises a red flag. Okay, so
yeah, that in a
why
way.
Why isn't there cameras
suspicious.
in there? Is that where you fuck everybody up or what?
But see, this is the first time something like this happens in our county.
That's true.
That's the thing too. It's like that's why it seems a little suspicious to me. Like, this is like the first time I hear about any like racist or like police brutality here. Like I said, we live in California. It's hard to believe. That's where I'm coming from. That's why I feel like I can't really dive into his story as much as I wanted to, because I mean, he did get fucked up.
He did, and we're not justifying it. Like, it's just completely fucked up. Like, the way they handled the situation was unprofessional, and it goes again with the whole the protocols that the CEOs have to follow.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it's okay to use aggressiveness, in some cases, but to that fucking extent, no, that's crazy.
But it's like that point you said where if he did that in public, like,
So I think this was before we came on. I said that sometimes when you're out in public and you're drunk and you're just yelling, they're talking at your ass to someone else, and you're antagonizing them, yeah, you're gonna get your fucking ass beat. But at that point, it becomes more like, well, it's your fault. You're in a public spot. Yeah. You're fucking talking shit to random people. Of course, someone's gonna be having a bad day and they're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah. I mean, if that was the case, then if it was out in public and it was just like a random person, then
that story wouldn't have blown up. But that's also I'm a big believer of that. Like, it wouldn't have blown up if it was like civilian against civilian. But since it was like from a professional, from a fucking police, from law enforcement, they got out of hand.
They have to keep their composure, and they probably lost it and they fucked them up.
You go into that line of work knowing what you could get yourself into. You're trained. Well, I want to say you're trained.
But I feel like a lot of people have this in mind where he kind of deserved it. I've seen some comments and people are like, he deserved it. He's probably being a piece of shit in jail.
But yeah, but again, it's he's drunk. Like, if you've never been around with someone that's drunk, like, go get fucked up with someone, and then just observe how they act. Sometimes they act like a whole different person, and it's not. There's the alcohol, bro, and then people should know. People should really know. I mean,
especially a correctional officer. They deal with people like that.
I've gone to bars, and then there's people drunk. They fucking tell you hella shit, but I mean, I know they're drunk, so I ignore it. Yeah. I mean, imagine if everybody reacted hella like that towards everybody that was drunk. There would be fights every fucking day. People would be shooting each other every day, and they already do. But
to me, the only thing that kind of that's been bothering me is that he's painting this narrative that
it was
the police here are racist, and like I said, I feel like that's not the case at all. Especially here, it's just hard to believe. That to me is like the hardest part to believe. It's like, I don't think that was the motivation. I mean, we had to wait and see. I mean, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but we had to wait and see.
Some questions that I would want to be, some questions that I would like for I guess you could say the sheriff department to answer is like, at what point does it become okay for any law enforcement agent to use that much of excessive force on someone?
But in a way, I mean, what if he was actually fighting them back, and they would?
I mean, it still shouldn't matter. I mean, not to that extent. Yes, I understand. Sometimes you do need to use. Yeah, you fucking maybe have to tackle somebody, fucking, you know, pin them down. But to what you're gonna start pinning them down and then just start beating the fuck out of them?
I mean, there was actually like a witness, and he is kind of like I mean, supporting his
like his
case.
story,
Yeah.
his case.
It was yeah.
Oh, I think I saw that he was also in the jail at the time that it happened.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, he did say something about that. He saw them like walk by. He was calm, and then out of nowhere, they just started just fucking him up.
Yeah, but I mean, we have to wait and see. I feel like we just can't really know what
we can't be jumping to conclusions either.
Yeah, we can't jump to conclusions so far. So I mean, leave a comment.
But one more thing I do want to say is that officers, whether it's police department or the corrections or, you know, wherever it is, like, they should start being held accountable too for the shit that they do, and not because they're at work it's okay for them to do that. Like, if they kill someone like that or fuck them up, like, they should fucking do jail time. The charges should be pressed against them. They shouldn't just get the paid leave and then come back in 2 months and everything be okay. Like, no, I believe that they have to start implementing new fucking sort of rules that if you fuck up, like, you're out. Like, that's it.
But see, now, like in this situation, for example, it's like a he said, she said situation where it's like,
yes, but if it happens, if his story happens to check out, and then let's say he really didn't do anything and it was just maybe they had a bad day, like, no, they should be fuck them, throw them to prison, and then have them get fucked up, see how they feel. Honestly, like, it's fucked up, but bro, like, this, they have to start being held accountable for their fucking actions. Everybody. Civilians, police officers, the fucking mayor, the fucking president, everybody.
Yeah, it should be equal.
Yeah, it should be fair. It's not because, oh, well, he was at work, so it's okay. No, fuck, people go to jail for fucking shooting people in their own home with kids. If you kill someone, especially here in California, you go to jail.
Yeah,
he could let's say you have a daughter.
If he has his back turns against.
It doesn't. That shouldn't matter, bro. It's like, as you come into my house, that's it. If I have, let's say hypothetically, I have kids.
But see, it's that law is there to
protect the robbers and people fucking.
No, but I mean, it's because there's a lot of loopholes in that. Yeah. I mean, what if you're just coming into my house and I shoot you and I'd be like, oh, he's trying to rob me? See what I mean? So it's kind of like it's like a loophole law. You know what I mean?
True. I can see.
It's kind of to.
But I'm talking about for those cases that actually they do go in to rob and then people shoot them or whatever, and then the people that were defending their home go to jail. Because if that's the case, fucking the whole U.S. government should go to jail. Shit.
Yeah, but yeah, in terms of this story, though, I feel like we don't know enough, so we have to wait and see the video.
We do want to I do want to touch bases on this story again once everything.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like I said, it's a really curious case. I'm really interested in what's gonna happen. You know, it's blowing up. I mean, it's super popular here. So I mean, leave a comment, leave your opinions, what you think, who feels in the right. Like, if you have more information or something, just comment below, and peace.
Mic drop.